dit qu'on allait organiser un truc où on vous montre des sites faits avec Prismic. Et
Okay. I guess we're live here. I see quite some people there. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this. I don't know how many did we do of product meetups, but this is one of them. Noah has told me 12. This is the 12th, right?
It's the anniversary. The anniversary.
12th anniversary? No, there's no 12th anniversary.
Yeah.
It's the 10th.
I know, but like 1 year, basically.
1 year, is it?
But if it's 12, I guess there is 12 months in a year, so I think it's an anniversary.
Good math. That's a good thing. Okay, so the 12th, it means an anniversary. Okay, I like it. But we didn't skip any month, right?
No. We should skip August.
No, it's the 13th that's the anniversary. It's the 13th that's the anniversary. It means we started in August somewhere, right?
I don't know.
You need to go like
I need
12
to go on holiday.
to cover all the
I cannot do my
months.
math anymore.
Anyway, well, thank you for being here. I don't know how is summer doing with you. For here, it was sunny. We had some sunny days last week. Now it's raining, right? Now it's raining in Paris. We are here in Paris. I don't know where you are based. You can tell us also what the weather that you have. I don't know. I hope you have sun for those who like sun, or rain for those who love rain. I'd like to know about these people, and snow for those who appreciate snow. I like snow.
I know.
I go to the mountains
in the summer.
In the summer and in the winter. I love the mountains. I don't know who else likes the mountain too. So wherever you come from, tell us about the weather you're having today. We are here to talk about. Well, of course, we're going to talk about the product. This is the event where we talk about the product updates, the product strategy. Sometimes we work on some topics that we want to kind of improve or develop, existing topics, new topics. We take your opinion, and also we try to get people interested in doing research with us. All these kind of things, we do it here. And, we share some news about the company as well. So this is what we do in here. I really like this format. For those who are joining us that didn't join in the past, I don't know if there are any. If this is your first time, please let us know. I'm here with Renaud.
Hello.
Renaud has been managing the product since the beginning. I don't know if we can call you head of product or chief product officer or whatever it is, but Renaud is managing the product, and I evolved to be the CEO. So I see a few people told us it sounds like, was it from Sweden? Okay, so in Sweden it's rainy. Okay, sun, and now rain from Samuel. And you know where Samuel is living? Ireland?
Sweden.
No, Samuel is Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Netherlands. And Mexico, too sunny for me. Yeah, this is the problem. Like sometimes it gets too sunny. I come from a country that gets too sunny. I mean, not as sunny as Mexico, I suppose. My microphone, I guess, is a little bit high. Maybe I can bring it a bit down. So I come from Syria. It's like it can get to 40, but I guess it's way beyond that in Mexico. And we have Alex here. Hi, Alex. Thank you for joining. We have Greenville, and it's hot. And that's it. Lord of Product. Alex suggests Lord of Product. Product Whisperer. Saint of Product. Okay. So today the topic is going to be about all the things that we achieved in the last year or so, or last year or 2 years actually, and how we evolved, the workflow of developing websites with slices, where we are at. Often we all these advancements, we did them under the name of Slice Machine, because that's the tool that allows us to introduce all these kind of things. So today we will get a little bit of an intro for people that didn't follow closely this, to say what we achieved, and especially talk about the next steps. How can we, push it to production? Because we guess that we are in a state where we can do that. Maybe you can show the slides, or you can talk.
Yeah, the thing is...
By the way, Renaud is writing because you didn't finish the slides, right?
No.
You're adding some slides.
Exactly. That's the stuff. Always at the until the finish line, doing those kind of stuff.
Yeah. So basically, if we delay 1 more hour, you will be adding more slides.
Most likely. So today we'll discuss different things, as you say. We'll do a short introduction about slides. We'll try to make it shorter than usually, because we know that we discussed it a couple of times. Let's say a short introduction to Slice Machine. One of the main questions that we get is is Slice Machine ready for production today? Can I use it? So we'll get a guest that will present a website made with Slice Machine, how they used it in production, and quite an impressive setup about it too. And we'll also try to answer a question that we also often get, and that is connected to the previous one. That is, okay, now if Slice Machine is ready for production, how do I migrate my current Prismic project to Slice Machine now? And so we'll try to address it in 2 ways. First way, what you can do now, what you can do today to do it, because you can do it already. And the second thing is how we are thinking about making this process easier, and try to have you challenge us about the different solutions that we are ready to provide.
Nevertheless, I would like also to ask people that are here, what do they expect from this product? Maybe you come from somewhere, something else. Maybe you have some questions you want to ask us, some topics you want to treat. This is the moment. Please tell us whatever you want us to, talk about. Either we'll handle it today, if it's a question that we can answer or a topic that we can address today, we can do it. We'll do it. Or we can schedule it for the next product meetup. So please tell us what you're expecting from us in this product meetup, and we'll try to address it.
And there is one thing also that we'll discuss at the end of this meetup. Apart from Slice Machine, even though it's a bit connected in the sense that it's also a technology that is often discussed about Prismic, Slice Machine connection, it's Gatsby. So we'll get Angelo that will talk about Gatsby and the latest improvement that we released for Gatsby. And yeah, we'll open some different questions. He will present basically the last version of the plugin that he released, etc. And then we'll get your questions at the end of this presentation, if you have any.
I have a question already.
Go
before
ahead.
we start. It's from Julian. He says, last product meetup, you said the new location API was in beta and ready for us to try. But when I contacted your support, they said it wasn't ready yet. Did I misinterpret something?
I don't. Okay.
I'm not sure what is the location API.
I can guess. Julian, you tell me.
What is the location API?
The replication.
The replication.
Geographically replication of the API.
Geographically. Is it? Yeah, probably that. Julian, is it what you're talking about? Are you talking about replicating the API geographically so you can get
better response
the endpoints closer to you, so you get better response time? Is it this? If it's that, then we can address it.
Yeah, for sure. So I think there is a miscommunication here, because yes, it's really in beta. We have thousands of repository, the most active in Europe, already on it.
For the slash API, right?
For the slash API, for sure.
For the master ref, basically, for getting the master ref.
So Julian, if you want to get access to it, please send me a message directly at Renaud, so RENAUD at prismic.io, and I will take care of opening it to you.
RENAUD, right?
Can someone type it in the chat, please?
Yeah, that's easy. Okay. I see a lot of. So, what is about Vue? Some people are asking. Okay, so React or Vue? Okay, yeah, a good question. Thank you for the question. So, who is using React? Who's using Vue? You can also. It'll be interesting to understand who is. And also, one question that we always sometimes remember to ask, sometimes we don't, is who is in the people here. Who is a developer and who is not a developer, not a technical person, marketing, content, project manager, anything else. Also, it helps us address that. It seems it's that for Julian. He says yes. Thank you. So he will contact you, and you will be able to enable it.
Drop me an email, and I will take care of. Opening this. You see other questions?
No. It's responding rather to the topic of Vue or React.
And
I see a lot of Vue,
And you?
some React. Myself,
Are you Vue or React?
okay, it's a good question. Okay, really, like what do I keep asking myself that question. I like the Vue is really easy to start. It's easy to start with. It's it looks for me like if you can start with HTML and then slowly get into components and stuff. So it's pretty. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it seems to be the new PHP basically. The way you kind of introduce yourself into like putting more on code in HTML is how PHP did it, and I like how PHP did it, even if now it's like really outdated. And I'm not starting here a comparison.
So
about
in the
PHP.
chat, are you PHP or JavaScript now?
That's a good question here. And PHP is doing a lot of progress, but that's not the topic. But also React is pretty solid, for a lot of apps, and a huge community. And there is Next on top of it, and Next is so wonderful. Next is good too. So I don't know. It's a hard choice, but I would say for building websites and for people that are starting with JavaScript and starting with components in JavaScript, I guess I would say Vue if I had to choose. I don't know what people think about it.
HTML with table, all the way.
I see TJ. You prefer Next. I know that already. You you don't hesitate to tell it in every event, and that's good. I like that choice. So maybe let's start with the slides.
Yeah. No, he's telling me like come closer. Cool. So just a recap of what we said. Basically, we'll go through a simple introduction about slices, slice machine. We'll get Ernest talking about is slice machine ready for production, how to migrate to slice machine, and then we'll end up with Gatsby. If you have any questions, as usual, like drop them in the chat. We'll take the time to just answer them, most of them, not all, because we cannot. We'll try, but often we cannot answer them all because there is a lot. So send them, and we'll try to pause every time we need to pause, basically. So let's go into it. So Prismic, one thing that is very important is that when you think about it, and when you think about a CMS like ours, it's directed to two different audiences: one, development teams, and two, content creation teams. So we have developers and we have content creations. Developer that will use the API, and editors that will basically use the editor at the end. And one of our main goals from the beginning is, can we create some kind of common language between those two audiences, and try to make a simple concept that can be shared between the two teams and be communicated between the two teams. So we came up with what we coin slices, and basically the general idea is that when you look at websites, they are often cut into different sections. And basically what we ask developer to do with Slice Machine and with Prismic is to create some sections that then they will ship to the marketing team, and then the marketing team will be able to use those slices to combine them and to create as many pages as they want. And that was the main thing that we tried to create in order to connect those two persona, let's say, those two audiences. Anything to add on top?
No, a lot of people saying that. I mean, several people saying that you have nice slides.
Wow.
Didn't we call you chief slide officer or something?
I'm good. I prefer than lord of the product.
So yeah, I mean, this when we talk about vocabulary, is that for ages, developers will work on pages, and then content writers will ask things about pages and stuff. And I guess this notion of a section, this slice thing, is pretty nice. As a mean for communication. Like if I tell you, like imagine, like, hey, I need a new section, I need a slice. Why? Well, I need to put that and that. I need to put a form. I need a slice with a form, or I need a slice with what other, like with logos. I need
like a carousel,
or
whatever.
And then you understand, and you tell me, okay, I will ship a slice to you, and I guess that vocabulary will help also collaborate.
Exactly. And so basically, if we end up at the end of what are slices and how do we make them communicate, as I was saying, like development team will just cut website into sections, and then marketing team will use those sections to create page, and basically the slice is the unit that make those two teams communicate. Like I use slides to combine page, I create a new slides for my marketing team when needed, etc. Hopla. And so this is basically the overall concept of slides. We'll get into more details just later, because we'll introduce a bit, we'll see a concrete use case of what are slices and what is a project made with Prismic. I have a lot of tabs. I'm figuring out that I'm sharing my tabs also in here. So, okay.
And now you make everyone realize the fact, and everyone is taking screenshots of how many tabs you have, and now you're in trouble, man.
Okay. And so when we thought about this in a general sense, what we saw is basically we have a tool, we have a product today to just combine the slices and create pages, and that's the editor. But we do not have a product for developers to create those sections and to cut this website into sections. And so that's where we had the idea of creating a Slice Machine. And Slice Machine basically is the tool that is focused on developer only when they use Prismic.
I saw a slide and you skipped it or something.
Yeah, but because bad flow of slides.
Okay, bad flow of slides. Go ahead, continue.
And so basically Slice Machine, what does it? What is it? It's like the tool for developer to create those sections like in the most efficient way. Okay, so what do we offer through that? Is basically a CLI to automate the overall process of slice creation and the setup of slices in your project. Today, the type of project that are supported are Next and Next, but we are in the plan of just supporting more technologies. Svelte is in the work. We are discussing Gatsby pretty intensively. An interface, a UI, to basically define the models for your slices, but then to preview them right away, to generate mocks automatically, to generate hints of code that you can just copy paste in your code in order to be way more efficient, and an integration with different tools and best practices to just create some documentation and to have best practices implemented in your project out of the box, like for example having a storybook documentation out of the box as soon as you create a Slice Machine project.
Yeah, and it's not only about having, like, you need to have something that says what kind of sections are available for everyone, right? Which sections, how do they look like? Have screenshots of them. Use it in the interface. These you see now that we have these snapshots, screenshots that you will see it in the editor, so that you will know exactly what will it look like, this section. That's about the documentation and the mocks, so that you allow it, to kind of test them and all of that. So we said, like, okay, and this is very important, what are the best practices today for breaking a website into different reusable sections? And, with the interaction with you guys and the community, we found out that these are good ones. Now, if you find there are other best practices that are important for building, breaking a website into reusable sections, please let us know. It's, this is the process, right? We want to make this tool for developers that allows us to implement the best practices.
Now, the overall idea is, at the end, basically, developer will not just work on web pages, but they will work on sections, and they will create those slices and those sections, and then they will ship it to the marketing team, and giving them basically a complete page builder using the different slides that they have, and allowing them to have complete autonomy on how they create pages thanks to the section that they have created. Now, big questions about this, and we'll go into details about how Slice Machine works, and maybe also showcasing some projects about it. We got Arnas from Oxylab today to just talk about can we use Slice Machine in production, because he is doing it with his team, like he's using Slice Machine in production, and so we'll go over basically his project, the different process of how we came to that, and going through basically the different elements that he has also implemented on top of it, so that you can get a feeling on is it ready or not. Go ahead.
But wait, like, was it ready for production so that he used it, or what happened there?
What do you mean?
How is he having a Slice Machine in production, whereas we're saying, like, maybe it wasn't in production, it seems to me.
So the thing is, and that's something that also will be interesting to hear from Arnas, is the fact that we talk about Slice Machine as a beta product, And the thing is that it was a long process on developing the tool, and it was pretty early on in the process of building Slice Machine, using it in production. But we think that there is a real value in there, and we think that it's already usable in production. And I think it's really interesting to have someone that did it and that used it.
And go through the hustle of
Exactly.
what didn't go well, what went well in there.
Anas, are you there?
This is your time. Don't hide. There you are.
You see him?
We can't hear you. Oh, we can hear you. We
And
can.
we can
Hello
see you.
everyone, my name is Arnas, nice to meet you.
Hello, how are you?
So early on, my journey with Slice Machine started quite early in Slice Machine development. We started using Slice Machine next day when I saw it on Prismic Meetup, but it's already available on Next.js. So a little bit about me. I'm Arnas. I have 6 years of experience as a developer. I worked 3 years at Ox Labs, and part of that I'll work as technical lead. So a bit about Ox Labs. Ox Labs is one of the biggest proxy seller in market. Plus, we have a lot of other tools to help all businesses get to the big data. So before starting talking about technical stuff, I want to just talk about what our team thinks. So I asked Iveta from our content team what she thinks, and she quoted, "Prismic unlocked the ability to build landing pages and other content units effectively. It saves our team's time and allows us to facilitate complex processes." So this is a huge win for our team to help other teams to win. So about our stack a bit. So we are using Next.js, Prismic with Slice Machine, Node.js for our services, and PHP for our legacy code. So what does it mean for legacy code? So we migrated into the Prismic from statically generated pages because it was a slow development. And Next.js plus Prismic sounded like a great idea. So currently, we have over 60 slices with Slice Machine, over 50 pages on Prismic, and overall over 300 pages. And before showing a demo, this is Gedros from my team, and this is what he thinks about Prismic. So Prismic is a clear, intuitive, and has a user-friendly interface. We have trouble with more complex elements. However, being extra creative helps us solve this issue. So let's go into demo.
And so Arnas, can you bring maybe into the debate about JavaScript versus PHP? Which one do you prefer?
It was more Vue versus React here, you know.
I think you're setting up me.
Yeah, you're setting you up. So you said
yeah.
Go ahead.
I prefer React, but I work it with both.
You worked with both. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
But this project is with React, right? You said.
Yeah,
Next.
with Next.js.
With Next.js. Next is really good. So, and you said 60 slices. Is that a lot? Is it? You think it's your normal amount of slices for a given website?
Oh no, for our needs, we are planning to expand our team. Currently, we make 10-15 slices in 3 months, plus other works. But our team hunger is growing, which is great because we create a better user experience, and this number I think gonna just grow.
Nice.
Plus, the newest feature of variations helps a lot to manage all a lot of slices that big number.
Categorize them in some way so that you don't have 60 different options on top. Yeah. And by the way, I will ask also the people in the comments. like if they're using slices, how many slices they have in a project, what the maximum number of slices they had in a project.
Oh, we can give a gift to someone that tell us like the maximum number of slices that you get, and we verify them. We verify.
How can you? Okay,
we have data
about
numbers.
Yeah,
Number
data.
of slices for
Yeah, that's a good thing. But it's not a contest, right? If you can do with fewer, it's good. Like it's good for you, right? If you can do, or is it the more the better? Okay, I will let you for your demo then.
Okay, thank you. So, okay. So I'm gonna start with our website, and after that I'm gonna show our slice machine, our storybook, and maybe some graphs. So this is how it looks like, page built with slice machine. Every page, every element is like fully customizable, and we just created like as mentioned, a builder, a section which can be reused in the multiple ways. Like I think one of the challenges, at least for us, when we are building a section, it's think not how the section currently looks, but how the section gonna expand, which is very creative and very interesting problem and challenge. And
example, maybe?
Yeah, like for example, if you see, we have this tabs with background and some data inside it. So it's quite simple. It's quite simple slice, but we have the same element with just white background. So which means like we have to think that we're gonna support like change the color, how we're gonna do it, how this element would looks only with one element, how this element looks when when we have like we don't have image, maybe we should expand it like fully, like, and this is like us, this is where we say, hey, design team, like, how this looks and how this looks, and it's a lot of questions, but this is very
I like
to do.
I really like how you're bringing it. So basically, the fact that you're making your sections now, you're thinking about your sections of being reusable. It means you have to think about them out of the context of the page. As you said, if it's only one tab, do we want to change colors? And if we want to change colors, is it editors that will specify the color, or we give them some kind of default options of like the design tokens or whatever it is that they are allowed to use? All the things that will make, because this section will appear in different pages, how will it appear in different situations, right? This is a question.
Yes, and I'm gonna show a different page. Like one of the simplest example is like we have this image on the left and text on the right, rich text, and we have like there's another variation, like it's like just image on the right, like, so this is a new variation, plus it has a button, and maybe this button do some action, maybe this button gives a link to another, like another link, and etc., etc. And we build on this one slide to make it as more variation as possible, plus as usable as the key is to, in my opinion, the key is to good slice, like to make it as simple as possible. What I mean, we can create a slice with 10 or 20 inputs, but this slice is gonna be used by other people. So we have to think like how we make this interface as good as possible,
usable, right? So
yeah.
And there is another. I really like it. I mean, this is one of the things that we try to put so much emphasis on it, because you're designing the interface of the editor. So if you add so many options because you think it might be used in a lot of different ways, but then the interface becomes too complex, no one is going to use it. So how can you put enough inside it so you give some kind of variations? And that's why actually the functionality variations we created, so you don't pack a slice with too many options, you'd rather separate in different things, and you talked about it yourself. That's one of the things. So that we need to be careful about it. And maybe we can also give you tools to help you with these kind of things. We can talk about it. But also there's something that Samuel said. He said, and that's why the storybook integration is so amazing, basically on making sure that you test the slice in different situations, and then you have that kind of documentation that will, whenever you're touching to it, you're seeing it in different situations. So I think that also can help with the quality.
Oh, definitely. After our website, I want to show how our slice machine storybook looks, and I will expand on this idea. Like the one cool thing about which we did is as you see that we have these IP numbers, and these IP numbers are not from Prismic, but is from external service, which we get so what we did, there's a thing integration custom APIs, I think, in Prismic, if I correct.
Integration
Yes.
field, yeah.
Yeah. But at the point, because we started quite early with Slice Machine, this functionality was not there yet. So we created our own Slice Machine enricher, which because Next.js is full stack application, so we select this data inside backend, like in the next backend, before passing it to Slice, and we update it. We only thing is passed to actual slide is the title, because it can be in another language. For example, it can be USA or United States of America, I don't know, and country code, which is always the same. So as a content manager, I just pass two variables, title and country code, and I get this flag, I get this IP number, which is automatically
Right.
updated and always up to date.
So this way you enrich the slice with something that is
Yes.
coming from another source, and this is
Yeah.
something you can do with integration field, but just integration field
It's
were
not
not
Still
yet connected with Slice Machine. I fully understand. I have a question for you, if you still have time for us.
Of course.
And so basically, I would like to understand how do slices evolve? Like when you are building this stuff, is it like back and forth with the content writers or the designers, and you do section by section, or do you go get all the specs and you work on them all together? Is it like you make a set of them and they tell you, oh, I like these, I want more, and then do these slices? How is it going?
I think a good example is this little card, which started like this. It's just image and rich text. And after okay, I have this image, we created this simple slice. We launched it and then said content managers, content team brand, or asked, can we add, can we switch sites? Okay, we can, it's not hard. And after that, they asked, can we add can we add flags? I will show you. I think it's look like this pages. If you see my screen, it's the same slice. It's the same slice, just with numbers.
Yeah.
And so basically,
you
it's
enrich
very
it,
natural.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a collaboration. So I like it because also this is what we said basically, that it's a vocabulary, right? It becomes like, okay, I want to introduce something new into this slice. Yes, we can, and it's a back and forth.
Yeah. So our philosophy is to release as soon as possible. So we make our slices really small and
Small, yeah.
and simple. And if they work, we enrich it. And this is this is how we work. We enrich it. It's worked. We can upgrade. So we do it again and again until it becomes huge.
You as an engineer, 10 years ago, what I would do is I would think okay, let me do the most complete slice ever, I would add options and stuff, and no one asked me for it, but I would go okay, maybe this, maybe that. But it's not how it should go, right? Often the best thing is you do something simple, and then people will ask you for more, and maybe when it becomes too complex, then you refactor it, you make it variations, you make it something else. So on the way, you keep changing things, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing in the number of slices that people did, no one come to your number, right? I see 510, I see 50, I see 1525, I see 28, 27. So again, the question is, if you worked on slice machine or not, how many slices maximum you did in a project? It's a good question for us also to know, because it will help us also understand like how much categorization we should add to there. What are things that will we can do to allow your project not to look complex when you have like more than 60 slices, right? Because it becomes big. But we have some ideas anyway. But
Yeah,
I will
like,
let you continue with this. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The one of the big things which helps us, I will share another window. So as you mentioned, there's a like extremely helpful tool which is a storybook. Do you see my screen? Awesome. So we think about storybook as our holy grail, as our source of truth. Like, so basically everything what is in storybook, it should be in Prismic. Like this is how we talk with other teams. Like as I mentioned, like other teams, like for example, brand and marketing team. Plus we have a different. We have dashboard team, which creates dashboard and use the same slices we use. So we have like this like a couple of teams working on the same elements and enriching and helping each other for, because maybe one of the struggles as a content marketing person I see is that if I have 60 slices in one page, and before images, it was a long time ago. Before images, how do I know which slice I need to use? So storybook was the thing which helped, like, because you can, because like I can find it in info block, like, and for example, I have like, with columns, default, inverted, with badges and list, etc., etc. A lot of variation of the same. So this is what you can expect. Plus a new storybook can you give you options how you can invert. So storybook is the thing which helps all teams to speak the same language and speak about same elements.
Right.
That's very cool. Because you said about like you used slides before we had the images in the editor, right? Like and it's complicated to look at it. Okay.
With icons.
Yeah,
it was just a simple slice machine icon.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, basically what Anna showed us, like the storybook integration and the fact that we have those slices in storybook, we use it as an opportunity for us to basically take some screenshots of each section and each component, and then send it to the editor, so that when the marketing team come into play to create those pages, they will have like images that basically will illustrate each slice that they select and that they can use to create a page. So they have also this feeling of slice builder in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. This feature, when the images showed up, like our team was so happy, because like it was something like, I can see the slice. I know what I need, but I don't know how it's called, and it's hard to remember. And it's a lot. And when you see just image, like it clicks right with you. And now I'm sharing.
Go ahead.
Please.
Go ahead. Continue.
And I'm sharing our slice machine. Like we were using the last slice machine UI version, which included variations. So this is our all slice machines. As I mentioned, it's our all slices. As I mentioned before, we have this images which helps in just to see which slice I needed. Like and it's so easy to find it. Plus, maybe, like I will mention later on, we have this thing as global slice, and this can be like expanded on. So, like the last slice I did, this was feature block large, and like it was like the first slice made with variations, and variations rocks.
Nice, I like that. I love that.
And for those who doesn't know how it works, like basically we have this, like I just gonna create a new slice. So we have slice, a new slice, and I can add some, for example, for this variation, I need a color picker to make my text different color, like color. And now I have like 3 variations of the same component, like, but I can think they are the same component or same files in the one folder, but they are like completely different. And this makes so easy because I don't need to think, okay, if I pass this extra property, I need to write like if statement in my code. And now I can think like, okay, this is variation 1, this is variation 2, this is variation 3, and all these are separate components, which helps a lot just to categorize and work.
But I think I always thought about it like, I mean, there are different cases. Sometimes it's okay to have the same component and do some small if statements from now and then. But if you find yourself maybe doing a lot of these, maybe it's better to separate in different components, because they are. If there's so much code about switching between, maybe it's much more proper and clean as code to have separate components in that kind of case. This is what
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think the rule of thumb for me would be, if I need a different repeatable zone, it should be like a new variation, like out of the box, like without thinking.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So, I honestly, there's so many things that you explained that you explained pretty well. I don't know what people think in the chat, if they have any questions to ask to you, anything that they need to know from you. I don't know how much time we still have 10 minutes, I guess. I don't know, do you have anything else for us today?
Yeah, the final thing which I want to show is how the Oxalabs works. So just to have this mental model, so you can imagine we have this packages, our shared component slices, types, because we're using TypeScript, we need types. This is our Oxalabs IO. We use Prismic to get content and use ImgX. One of the things which I was really happy when I read that Prismic have a relationship with ImgMix, because this helps so much. As
we wanted to give it to get it out of the box. We didn't add any extra to the pricing or anything like that. We just we included there because we think it's essential. You cannot do without a service like ImgX in your website, right? So that's why we thought of integrating it.
Definitely
for out of the box.
And we took a huge advantage of this because we as a user, as a Prismic user, I want to upload image for anything, and as a developer I have to think about, okay, I need same image for Retina displays, I need same image for mobile screens, I need the same image with multiple sizes of the same image, and ask other teams to oh, can you just crop this image, can you give me a 2x image, and ImgX gives it for free. So it's such a nice thing, because you can just write okay, I need 2x dimensions, I need a WebP format, etc., and this is one of the things which improved our website performance tremendously.
Yeah, and I'm very happy. I mean, it's hard to the decision that you make in a product. It's hard because you're going to keep it for quite some time, right? When you do a decision, I'm happy how it went with this decision to integrate ImgX. So to wrap up this, do you think it's fair to say now, instead of building pages, you are basically shipping a page builder to your content writers? Is it fair, or would you describe it differently?
It's fair. You should think it is about page builder, not about a page.
Yeah, page builder, right? Okay, well, I guess thank you very much for all these content and all what you shared. I'm very happy to see that. It also shows that we are on the right path. We still have a lot to explore, a lot to solve for you, also for this project. There are certainly a lot of things that you need to us to kind of improve, so that you can do more and more of this workflow. So that's our role. I mean, the team will be very happy to get this feedback, and they want, they're working on improving stuff. And also from everyone else here, if you're doing this workflow, this workflow, or you're doing your own workflow, and you give us feedback, we will take this feedback and we'll use it to build this workflow.
And that's also why we do also those events, to keep like a very a very close connection with you, so that we can get like your feedback as much as possible, as soon as possible, and that we can improve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks
It was
a
a
lot.
pleasure.
We'll
See
move to
ya.
back to the-
Thanks. Okay, so we hope that this this presentation will show that at least Slice Machine is usable today in production, and that people are doing it. Arnas is not the only one. Like we also have other people using it in production today. I'll be happy to share some websites that are done with Slice Machine. Maybe we can do that on Twitter so that you get a sense of it.
But also the idea is like maybe it is today, if you're starting a new
Yeah,
project,
for sure.
it's a serious question now whether maybe you should be starting with Slice Machine, right?
And so to sum up, why we think you should use it and you should think about it is that everything that was showed by Arnas, like in the process of getting the
We
model
can
in
get
the
the
code,
slides here.
yeah,
Yeah.
getting the model in the code, getting your environment that will be completely local, so that you are productive in creating those sections. So like with mocks, with ints, like you get the documentation with Storybook out of the box. You get all this basically, and this is like very efficient, very productive way to create slices. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
You want to
go
say
on.
something. But that's the why we think you should use it, and maybe you should use it in starting your new project now. So
But wait. I want to
It's
get
okay.
people back to their keyboard. I guess the presentation.
yeah, okay.
It was very interesting. I'm saying here from Sword. Really interesting presentation. Thank you. Thanks to Arnas. I guess we should bring more of these kind of
Yeah,
cases
for sure.
because when we present things, we present as us, as what we're thinking or what we produce as a product. But when you see it, how it's happening, you see relatable problems. Like, okay, what did they go through? How did they deal with their content team? Now, of course, we do research to understand that, and that's how we build our product. But it's good to get it like directly from the people. I have Sam who's saying we haven't used Slice Machine yet, but we were using slices in very much the same flow. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that we understood as well, Sam, is that we didn't, in a way, we didn't invent exactly Slice Machine, or like we come up, oh, what should we do? Oh, Slice Machine.
For sure.
It's more like people, a lot of clients, big and small, were like using Prismic in a way, and it was like, this is interesting. Look how they categorize, how they want the models to be in the code. Look, they are relating these things. They having this kind of documentation, and we gathered these kind of things, and we said like, okay, let's make a project where it's the workflow. So
And-
that workflow that you identified yourself, Sam, together with a lot of other people, is the thing that we're working on to.
Yeah, and provide all the tooling that will basically that will automate this process, that will simplify it, that will give the best practices out of the box, so that you don't have to do the configuration yourself. You
Yes,
don't have to think about it.
to take all the hard lifting and to let you like do the creative and interesting stuff. And I like building websites there is a lot of creativity. So the more we take from the kind of annoying repetitive work, the better it is, right? So I have also Sayed who's saying, thanks to Arnas, was great to see it in production. Yeah, it was nice to see it in production as well. And I guess they did a really good job on using Slice Machine and explaining the different advantages of documentation, of Storybook, all these kind of things.
And the website is really nice also.
And the website is cool, yeah. So, but I want to understand, like, are there people around that heard of Slice Machine, other people that heard of Slice Machine but didn't use it yet, and they're still having some questions? This is the moment. Just ask us the questions, and we'll try ourselves to address it. Whether like, okay, what are the advantages, or maybe, oh, but I have this problem. Will I be able to use it with that? Or I don't have developers, or we are a small team, or anything that you think for which Slice Machine is not ready for you, and it will allow us to address that. So I have Sam who's saying, again, we are re-platforming at the moment, so we'll very likely be looking at switching over to using Slice Machine when we get the migration of our content pages. The images on the Slice editors looks like it will be great. Yes, this is what we like also about it.
And we think we can bring it. We can bring more like details, because we see that for some use cases it's not fitting perfectly. So we are still looking in how to improve that and to provide like the best tooling possible for also the editors in terms of documentation to just know what they are building basically.
And by the way, I you know, as we speak, we are working so hard with a lot of other people to strengthen our different product teams, including the Slice Machine team. We hired a few new people that will be joining in September. So we're getting more people to help us accelerate on this. So, you know, only good news there. So maybe we should talk a little bit about the migration. Is it the time?
Yeah, but if now it's not the time,
Yeah, it's not right.
we will never talk about it. Okay, so I'll try to do quickly. You said, but
I have one.
I have one. Slowly, but like I'll try good mix between both.
Rafael is saying, can't wait to use Slice Machine with Gatsby.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, there is a discussion there.
Yep.
It's very much advancing. I love what Angelo and the team are doing about it. There are a lot to be structured first so that we get it clean. There's something that Angelo also, recorded for you. I don't think that it's not about Slice Machine, but we will next time we'll have him talk about that.
And he's
promise. Next product meetup, we'll have someone from the team, probably Angelo, talking about what's the path to Slice Machine. Nuha, you got it. Oh, she said yes. I saw it.
To be honest, she said.
But I interpret that as yes.
But yes, Angelo did so. Without talking about Slice Machine and Gatsby, because it's like not celebrating what the awesome job and the work that he did. Like he will present at the end of the presentation like all the work that he has done in the new version of the plugin. It's huge improvement. And he focused on that mainly for at least in the past few months. So I think we should also look at this as a very important improvement also. And maybe next step, I'll let Noah discuss it. We'll see.
So you have one last question before you start with the migration path. Which frameworks works the best with the Prismic CLI?
You ask me. Like today, Slice Machine is working with Nux and Next. Voilà.
And we are preparing for Gatsby.
Svelte is the next one to come. Like it's in the works.
So
already.
before the Gatsby?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Svelte is already. In fact, we use Svelte as a pilot project in order to see what it will take to just simplify the creation of new technology and the add of technology. And so Svelte is on the way, and Gatsby is on discussion, under consideration, let's say.
Okay.
Another question?
And by the way, we should put migration guides. No, we're talking about it anyway. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's go to the slide. I will go quickly on this one. So what we have done in Slice Machine at the moment, we went through different phases, and the first phase and the first release of Slice Machine was all about slices. So we created this UI and this CLI to have the slice model in the code, have Storybook ready for all of your slices, but then we started to work on shared slices. Like there was nothing else than that. It was also huge at the time, but all that was the first version. But then, like 2 months ago, I would say we released a new version of Slice Machine that now brought more. The first thing that we wrote was like importing the slice, including the slice variation in Slice Machine and being able to support that. But then we also brought the fact that custom types should be also handled in the code, and custom types should be managed in Slice Machine. We did that because basically it was one of the big elements that was missing in order to make Slice Machine production ready, because we wanted to support that. We wanted to be able to do content relationship, basically everything that is supported currently in Prismic, and that was not in Slice Machine. So that was done. Now, if you look at what we have and what we have left, so we have integration field that we haven't put in this slide and that Arnas talked about, but we have like migrating existing Prismic project to Slice Machine, because today that's a process that doesn't exist. But for all the new projects, you can use it safely. So now, the question that we hear often is, how can I migrate to Slice Machine? And I will talk about two things. One thing is, how can you do it now? Okay, it will be manually work, scripting, etc. But you can do it. And then I will talk about some ideas on how we could build it for you. And that's why also I would like to have your feedback on that. I would like to start a debate on this, most likely publicly through RFC, so that we can gather as many feedback as possible and that we can start thinking and designing this together.
So I want to restate what you said because it's very important.
Yep.
As of now, before us providing you the tools of migration, how would you go about migrating existing projects to Slice Machine?
Exactly.
We want also to have a discussion for the future. What tools and what process can we provide to have this migration be as automatic as possible? And this is a discussion that you said you want to have in RFC.
Exactly. So let's go for how can I migrate to Slice Machine? And this will be a process that we'll see also for the future and for what we can plan. Basically, if you want to migrate your current your existing project from your existing Prismic project to Slice Machine, you have to do 3 big steps. The first one will be, how do I migrate my model? How do I migrate the model of my slices mainly? Because the legacy slice are not shared slice, it's not the same model, and so you will have to migrate it. But then you have to understand, once this model is migrated, how do I migrate my content and what's the impact on my code? That's the second step. And then for sure at the end, as soon as you have done this, you will probably need to test the changes that you have done. You have a question?
No, I guess you're answering my question in the next slide.
Okay. So, why do you need to migrate your model? Today, as you know, in your existing Prismic project, you can have your, we call them legacy slices, but basically you can have the model of the slices that we were supporting previously. That was that...
Well, we're still supporting, but I mean the ones before Slice Machine.
That we were enforcing at the time, like that we were... I don't know what's the right word.
The ones that we always have.
That we supported in the custom type.
So the ones that are integrated, they are directly in the custom type.
Exactly. And so those slices, they had a model that was really defined to exist in a custom type. They didn't exist outside of the custom type, so you couldn't share a slice between custom types.
So let's call it the non-shared slices.
I call them the legacy slice.
Okay, good for you.
But then you need to migrate them to shared slice because Slice Machine only supports shared slice at the moment. So there is one thing that you can do today, is that if you go into an existing project next, and that you type the Prismic SM setup command, basically will take care of downloading your custom type. You can do that through the custom type API too. And then when you have those custom type JSON, like here, you will get in your custom type JSON your different slices. So if we look at this, the old model is on the left, the new model is on the right. The old model is that you will get your custom type, and for your custom type.json, inside of it, inside the body object, you will find all your slices. So if you want to migrate this to a Slice Machine project, you will have for each slices to create a separate model.json file for each of your slice, and you will have to migrate some properties. So if you look on the left, for example, the ID of the slice is not named the same way. You will have to migrate, for example, the object slice to an ID demo slice in my case. The name is not exactly the same. Property. We integrated, for the support of variation, a new bigger object at the root of the slice that is the variation, and you will integrate it into the default slice variation. And then we rename some properties. So for example, for fields, the non-repeat field is becoming primary, and the repeat field is becoming items. This to be able to reflect the results that we are sending in the API, because in the API we are sending primary and items.
Okay, so basically, what is it? 4 things, like you extract a slice, you wrap it in a variation, default variation.
Exactly. And
you rename the repeatable, non-repeatable.
Exactly. And so basically I've put in the slice like what you see in pink is what is becoming in pink in the new model. What you see in purple is what becoming in purple in the new model. What's blue is blue. And you have like this white stripe, white line, basically that represent the new key about the variation that were not existing before and that you need to encapsulate your fields in.
You have a thanks from Amy for breaking down into such easily digestible steps.
Cool. There is a trick though, and that will be the complicated part, is that, as I said, slices were existing in a custom types before. They were not existing they were not shared between custom types. So it might happen that in different custom types you have a slice with the same ID but different fields. This, today, you will have to solve it manually. For that, you will probably have to either consider merging those two slices. In my case, it's just a property title 3 and title 1 that are different, even though the rest is the same. Or you will have maybe to create two slices depending on your use case. I cannot provide you with a unique answer here. It will really depend on your use case.
Right. So name conflicts between, because they were local to custom types,
Exactly.
now you're making them global, which means you need to manage some kind of naming.
Exactly.
I have a question though.
Go ahead.
If and I don't know, maybe you have an answer, maybe not. If I have to, I don't want to migrate right away. Slices are going to function the way they functioned before. Like there's no rush, there is no problem if I have slices that I use in my project. It's only we're talking about if now you want to take advantages of the new workflow.
For sure. This will continue to work. And still today, you can continue to have your shared slice in the slice machine project. The thing is that you will not really have a source of truth, because people will be able to update it from the custom type builder, from slice machine, so you don't know where your updates are coming from. But yes, I'm putting myself in the position of I want to migrate, but you don't have to.
Oh, I have a question here. Right now, you can only remove a slice using the custom types API. Will deleting a slice be something that will be available in the slice machine UI?
Yes, that's something that we are considering. We need to first there is something that is there is two things. There is deleting a custom type. There is deleting a slice from a custom type. That's something that is doable already today.
Okay.
Because you can just go to the custom type locally, you remove it, and then you push your custom.
You're talking about slice machine or not?
I'm talking about slice machine.
Yes, in slice machine you can delete a slice
From
that
the
was
custom
included
type.
in custom type.
Yeah,
but deleting a whole
whole,
slice.
you will delete it locally, but you still have it. En fait, the thing is complicated. Okay, the thing is complicated for one specific reason: is the fact that we released slice machine at the beginning as only because it was a tool to support slices, and so basically you were pushing your slice to Prismic, and then you were updating your custom types from Prismic to add the different slices. But today, since custom types are supported locally, you don't need to do this back and forth between
the source of truth becomes the code.
And so in that case, if you want to delete a slice, you just delete the folder and that's it.
Yes,
that's it.
But you need to push that change.
You need to push the change of a custom type. Since you don't use the custom type interface in the SaaS, you don't care about having it, and that's one thing that we
except if we have a place that will show you all the slices that exist, then you have to
at some point
delete. Yeah,
for sure.
But anyway, it's something that we can support easily.
So yes. Now, as I said, since you do most of the work locally, I don't think it's that important to have those slices still existing in the custom type builder in Prismic, because that's not the source of truth and that's not what you are looking for. For sure, that's something that we'll support. I don't think it's that critical now. Maybe the person that is asking the question though doesn't have the latest version of the slice machine, so is just handling slices, but not handling custom type locally too.
So that's a question for Flex. Do you have the latest version of Slice Machine UI? Do you have custom types that are in the code, or you're just pushing into custom types that don't exist in the code and exist in the writing room?
I like the name, by the way. Cool name, Flex.
Okay, so what's next?
The next part, and I think we will go way over time if we have Angela's presentation. The next step will be to migrate the code, and for that, basically, as soon as you have created your new model, what we recommend is that for each model you create a folder, and in this folder you will move basically your previous component to have the component close to the code. As simple as that. So if we take the example of my custom type.json and the slice is demo slice, you will create a folder demo slice. You will put in there the new model, so what we see on the right. You will put the code of your component close to it. That's it. If you have conflict, for sure you will have to update the code a bit. You will have to migrate some elements. That's one thing. But in the code, for the simple case, it should be just basically moving your code into a folder that is a demo slice. Question?
No.
Flex comment maybe?
No, not yet.
Cool.
No. I have a question, but we have, I don't know, since we are maybe you can finish and then I don't know, because we're beyond time. I mean, we're supposed to stop at 7 here. I mean, 1 hour after starting.
So 15 minutes ago.
So maybe you can go on with the slides and then I can handle the questions by the end.
Yeah, for sure. So for migrating the content, at the moment you will have to go through the import export as soon as you have pushed your changes to be able to know what's the new model for the content, and then migrate your content from your existing slice to a new one.
So let me recap.
Yeah, go ahead.
First, the model, you have to change the slices,
Yes.
right? And then you have to add basically if you already have components, then put them in the right folders,
For sure.
right? And then migrate the content.
Exactly.
And that is basically the trickiest part, is that you have to use something like import export and some scripting to migrate the content.
Exactly.
And this is something that we want to work on to improve, or
But we want to improve the whole flow.
the whole flow, right?
And so as soon as you have that, then it comes down to the testing phase. So like, how do you test that your model migration worked fine? How do you test that your content model worked fine? So today, the best way to do that is to use a new environment in Prismic, or to use a new repository where you will import your new model and some test content in order to see that everything is working properly.
Right.
Okay, so tricky automation, manual steps, a lot to do. So we are at the moment thinking and designing a smooth migration path, and we'll expose some of the ideas that we have and some of the questions that we have too. So if we go to the exact same steps, the first thing is, okay, how can we provide a one-off migration for all slices? So one thing that we are thinking about is that as soon as you will do a Prismic setup command in your existing project, for each slice that we find in your custom type, we will generate basically a new folder. We will generate a new folder for each slice with the model and some basic code that you will be able to replace with your own component. And update all your custom types to now reference the shared slice and not the legacy slice.
So you basically execute this command line on your project code, and then it will create the repository and download all the models. So
exactly,
one command takes all the slices, it puts them locally.
Exactly.
The other option,
create them shared. And so the thing that is tricky and that we really have to think through is, how do we resolve the conflict? Like we were thinking about
already some
like if you have two custom types, two slices that
name conflicts,
yeah, exactly.
Of course.
So that's the tricky part. The second step is maybe allowing not a one-off migration but a progressive one, meaning that you don't have to migrate all slices at the same time, but maybe the slice machine UI you can cherry pick the slice that you want to do. So basically same steps as before. You start to set up slice machine in your project with the custom types, and then the interface understand which slices are legacy, which one are shared, and so you can start creating new shared slice. But in the meantime, if you want to migrate a legacy slice, basically you have some kind of button, some kind of automation that will allow you to, for each legacy slice, to do the steps that we declared just before, basically creating the folder, creating the model, bootstrapping the code, and then changing in the custom type the link to be able to replace it by the new version. And this will allow you to basically go over time in the migration and not just do a one-off that can be tricky and complicated to handle at once.
Yes. So either, all the slices, or like cherry pick. Oh, I need this slice, I need to make it shared, then you do it, and then you do the next one, and so on, and then you push them to your project.
And that's I'm interested in knowing which one you think is better and which one we should go for. But anyway, I'll share RFC. I will post a RFC this week so that we can discuss it.
Good.
Okay, now the trickiest part today, maybe in the process, is the migration. We think that for the simple case, we should be able to understand that a legacy slice became a shared slice and migrate the content automatically. We think we can do that and we can automate that. For the complex part, we still don't see any way today, a simple way today to basically migrate the content without the import-export. And so we will most likely have to go this path for the more complex part where we have conflict.
Anyway, we'll keep them posted, keep everyone posted with what we define as a migration patch for the content.
Exactly. And for the testing phase, what we are thinking about is that for the branch that will be created for the migration, we should be able to generate an environment that will basically get the custom types updated and the new models right in, so that you can test your import export, you can test pushing your model, and you can test that smoothly without having to have the hassle of testing this in production. So those are the elements that we are exploring at the moment. I think it's important that we start a discussion and a debate about it, so that you get a chance to also participate to the discussion and that we can build this with you.
Right. It's a very important topic anyway. And that's, again, the RFC will be the place where we would debate this.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it for me. Any questions about the transition, migration?
Not so far. I mean, someone saying like, oh, this is Sayed saying, has the Prismic team added? Did we add anything that allows us to fetch models using the CLI, so that we can keep models in sync between Prismic and the code repositories? Yeah.
Well, Slice Machine is that first.
Yes.
Like that's the overall goal of Slice Machine. Is
because the whole idea is that you will not be modifying anything
from the interface,
from the
cloud interface anymore. But you'll do everything in your code, so that you have all the changes in the model in the branch related to the code. So that's Slice Machine. Now we also provide APIs on which we rely for Slice Machine. But yeah, that's the overall goal for Slice Machine. This should be the process.
There's another question that is probably not exactly related, but non-developer product related question. Prismic's team has a fantastic video video setup. What camera are you guys using for these streams? I guess the Sony Alpha 7, if you're interested, but there is 7 III. Yeah, thank you. and some lighting and some microphones, and here it's the Rode NT1, I guess, or something like that, right? NT1, yes.
And some awesome presenter.
And especially and yeah, that could help.
Noah is doing.
Yeah, I guess I don't know now. Like, so how long is the video?
How long is the Gatsby video? 7 minutes.
Okay, let's go for that as a last step. Okay, so last step, the Gatsby video from Angelo, and then we will wrap up.
Let's go.
Hi everyone. I'm excited today to speak to you about Gatsby and Prismic's updated integration. So we call it version 4. This is the 4th iteration of our integration with a lot of new features that I'm going to talk to you about today. So before we get into that though, just a quick overview of what Gatsby is for those who don't know. So Gatsby is a React static site generator. You can use content from multiple sources. So for example, you can grab your content from Prismic, or you can grab it from Shopify if you want to grab like product information, for example. And you have access to a huge ecosystem of plugins. So grabbing content from Prismic or Shopify can be done using a plugin. So all you do is you put some really quick information and it'll fetch all your content for you. Or if you want to do something like make a sitemap automatically, or use a library like styled components, there are plugins for all of that. So it makes it really easy to develop websites. Okay, so what is new in Gatsby's integration with Prismic? Well, there's a lot, but the 3 things I want to speak to you today about is previews, the fact that it's an easier setup now, and lastly, Gatsby plugin image and how that works with images from Prismic. Okay, so first, previews. So a quick background on how previews work with Prismic. Basically, editors will go into the writing room, or the place where all the content is edited. So you can make a change there. Then you just save your changes, and then you can click on this little preview icon with a little eye. And what that'll do is it'll open a new window with your website, and it'll actually load all of your previewed edited content and let you basically see it live on a real website. And what's really nice about this is you can go into the writing room, make changes while that browser window is still open, and then all you do is click Command or press Command S or Control S, and that'll resave your document and automatically refresh this browser window. So it's really seamless integration with how editors can edit content preview it before publishing, and then when everything looks good, go ahead and save it and send it out to the public. So having this kind of workflow is fairly challenging for static sites. Typically, these kind of workflows require a server that runs in the background to fetch all of your preview content and then serve the HTML. But what we've done is we've made it completely static still. It's all just HTML, and all this processing happens in the browser. So it's a challenge, but we've done it. So one of the core features of Prismic's previews is that you can have unlimited simultaneous live previews. So you can have multiple editors making their changes in Prismic, all clicking the edit or all clicking the preview button, and everyone will see their changes just within their environment. You also have full support of releases. So if you have lots of edits that you want to bundle all together and publish at once, you can do that now. So you can put them all under one release, click the preview button for that release, and you'll see your whole website with all those changes. So you can click around through your navigation and see all of your changes throughout the pages. So something to note is that there are no special services or extra costs required, like I mentioned. So if you're using services like Netlify or Amazon S3, or even your custom server like an Nginx config to serve your static website, you can continue doing that. You don't need to have a special server running to get previews working. And for users that are using Gatsby Cloud Previews, it does work with the updated plugins. We have documentation we're working on to just share the latest practices on how you can do that. So look out for that document. Okay, next, the major feature is that using the plugin is actually a lot easier to set up now, primarily because we have automatic custom type fetching. So in the past, you'd have to go into Prismic, go to your custom type, like your page, for example, and then copy and paste the whole JSON model into your project. Now with the custom types API, that can happen automatically. And all you have to do is go into settings in Prismic and copy a token. So of course there's documentation on how to do that. And along with all the other features, there's updated documentation across the board. So so if you go into the documentation, you'll have basically a guide on how to do everything that's new with the plugin, including refreshed example projects. So if you want to reference how to set up previews, for example, or how to correctly query for a field, all the documentation is updated and you can use it as a reference. Okay, and then the last major feature I want to talk about is Gatsby Plugin Image. For those who don't know, Gatsby Plugin Image is Gatsby's automatic scaling image component. So if you have a viewer on a mobile device or on a desktop device, basically it's going to automatically get the right image for them so that they're loading the smallest file size. How to do that with the Prismic plugin? Basically, you query for your custom type. So in this case, we have a home page. And then within that, you can get your image field. So in this case, we have hero image. So when you want to grab Gatsby image data, you just query for that right within your image alongside your alt text. And then all you have to do is import the Gatsby image component and then pass image and alt as props. And that's it. Everything under the hood is automatic. So this was developed in partnership with ImageX. So all of that querying in GraphQL is done through the ImageX/Gatsby plugin. You can also download them locally if you want to process them without ImageX, but we do recommend using ImageX for basically making everything easier and makes your builds a lot quicker. So as I mentioned, there's a lot more to the plugin's updates. You can see this list here doesn't even fit on the slide, so we can't really speak about it here. But what you can do is you can read the blog post that we just posted. It goes into detail of what's new, and it has some links out to some extra reading if you're really interested in what's new. So you can install these plugins today. So of course there's Gatsby Source Prismic, which is the primary way of gathering data from your Prismic repository into your site. And then a brand new plugin, Gatsby Plugin Prismic Previews, which is how you can have those live client-side previews set up on your static site. So also available right now. And that's it. I hope you're excited to see all the improvements to Gatsby. If you aren't a Gatsby user or you haven't tried it out yet, I do recommend trying it out. It's, I think, one of the best ways to create websites, as long as you can have a static site. Okay, we'll see you next time.
So I hope you liked the changes that Angelo presented and showed you. We did a meetup like, I don't know, 4 months ago or 5 months ago to talk about specifically about Gatsby, what was the status at the time, because we didn't have those improvements and we had like a need for communication and for a status on all the changes. And so basically Angelo did a lot of work to go into the direction that we presented 5 months ago. It's now landing in through like a huge improvement about the new plugin, supporting fully Prismic Preview without the need of working with Gatsby Cloud, support of images, Gatsby images in Gatsby and Prismic project, ImageX support too. So everything that he released like are huge improvements. You should check them out and test them. So yeah, thanks Angelo basically for the work.
Absolutely, thank you, Angelo. So any last minute question maybe? Other than that, we need to wrap up this one. I'll wait like a few seconds.
Do you think that if we put 1 hour and a half for the meetup, it will last 2 hours?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
always. I don't know. But basically, the next meetup will be again on YouTube live. It will be the last Wednesday of next month. You can check the calendar thing that we added. So basically, we prepared the calendar for these events. So if you add it to your calendars, then you will be able to see the event, and we put the description and the link there, so it's an easy access from there. If you didn't have this calendar yet, you can go to shows.prismic.io, I suppose,
Yeah.
/product meetup, and then you will be able to add this calendar so that you have it.
So any questions?
And I see. Well, Sayed is saying thanks Angelo, great hire. Yeah, we're happy about this, and a lot of people that are joining. So I hope there are a lot of other unique people that you'll be seeing. There is already Alex. Alex is really providing there is a lot of content, a lot of stuff that he's doing internally and externally, and many others. So I guess you'll see other new faces there in the coming.
You want to replace me for the meetup, basically. So if you want to be on the meetup every last Wednesday of the month, like you can jump into any of the position that we have open and try to take my spot
or my spot. Anyways, let's see if there are questions. Shididia saying, love the plugin for previews, and Alexandre saying, are there such kind of plugins also for Nuxt available? Well, Nuxt has it already. There is a Nuxt plugin, and it has already that, right?
Yes, so there is a Nuxt plugin and it's supported. The tricky part about for Next and Nuxt, basically they are supporting not only static site rendering, so they allow us to do some query to be able to support the preview. So preview is fully supported for Next and Nuxt. So we did created a Nuxt plugin specifically to improve the workflow. For Next, it's not the case yet, but anyway, the preview are working perfectly with those two technology. Gatsby was trickier because it's only static site generation, and so that's we tried different approach in the past unsuccessfully. This one seems to work very fine and very well, and so it was it was basically the biggest JavaScript framework that was lacking the support of this feature. So now it's not the case anymore.
Okay, well, I guess that's it for this time.
I guess that's it.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here, and see you next time.
See
you in August.
Enjoy your holiday if you have some.
If you have any holiday, enjoy that. I hope you'll have the weather that you wish for, and see you next time.
Enjoy your holiday, Sadek. Bye.
Bye.